So this is one of the templates that I created. This is a more complex one. There's different components that I kind of put together to serve different purposes, but this is a level 2 or a full anatomical survey. You can see I have an area for demographics. There's an area for what the actual study was and who performed the study. And then these are the different fields. There's a dating field, a field for the general evaluation, basic biometry, and then I have the advanced items, maternal structures, impression, a place to tab whether there was a critical finding, in which case who was notified, and when. And then there's windows, or there's fields where I can add, if I want to, actual study images, which are smaller than the DICOM images, just as PDF portions.
Mm-hmm.
So when it gets finalized, I'll show you what it looks like. So you can see it looks a little bit prettier without all the open fields. But you can see it looks like any report you would see, a really complex, much more expensive report, much less flexible report. But in this case, it's extremely flexible. If I notice something, if the reader notices something is a problem, it can be unfinalized, it can be modified. You can even on the fly add sections if you need to. So that's basically what it looks like. It's it's a pretty usable, functional, readable report.
Yeah, and what I think is important to note is that you have created this using the Trice Adaptive Reporting template to your specific needs. So even on a MFM level, you are able to make these customizations so that this report can meet the needs of your practice. So I think that's important for people to see that there is, as you mentioned, that flexibility and that adaptability in the reports. And just to clarify, the measurements will come over from the system, and those yellow fields that we saw earlier, those are open fields. So as you mentioned, you can go ahead and customize and add any comments, or you can make any edits, or just add you know, any different criteria on the fields at hand. So this is a perfect example of a comprehensive anatomical ultrasound report. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Sure, my pleasure.
And it's not only reporting that you actually use adaptive reporting for. I understand that you have also used the template in novel ways to create consult forms for your practice.
So this is a consult form that I created. It's used to actually communicate back to the referring clinician. The clinician can actually, if they want to, fill in the patient data. So this is how they communicate what they're asking the clinician for, or what they're asking the specialist for, and providing the information that is relevant to interpretation of a study or a full consult. Another interesting thing about the fields that you create is some of them will pull information, and some of you can choose what type of field it is, whether it's a text field or a numerical field. You can create drop-down menus. You can create what they call snips, where you can either pull something from a database or a list of items, or choose your own and modify that all together. So what you're seeing here is, in the light blue, is information that the referring clinician would complete. And they can complete it to the degree that they can. They're giving the demographics, prior dating from maybe prior studies that had been done elsewhere. And then actually what they're requesting, a consultation and an ultrasound, actually the information that they're looking for. And then this is where it's intended that the MFM will actually document. And this is a model report, so there's not a lot of information, but some of these will be 2 pages of text with very specific bullet points of what has to be done on a specific patient and their evaluation. And I created an area to put in vitals. There's some forms that you can actually put in NST reports, and you know, that's the system. They can actually put in an ICD-10 and encounter time, and then sign off on it. And again, here as well, include images if you want. So it works really well. What's really nice about it is it's not dependent on the EHR platform. So you know, we have MFMs that are reading studies for clinicians that are coming from up to 4 or even more different EHRs. And if they had to learn how to use each of those EHRs and access their requisitions and then send their reports over in a format that those EHRs were able to read, it would be a job in itself. So this way, everyone that's requesting diagnostic imaging or consultation from our team is using the same form. The MFM is familiar with that. They all know how to get it. It's available on the fly, and it works extremely well for us.